All systems go. Clear for liftoff. What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, a.k.a. ToeTagginTambo, back for another edition of the Thursday Night Football Showdown show here on the Ship It Nation YouTube station. Make sure to hit that thumbs up on the way in. Just crossed 11,500 subscribers, so do us a favor. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 15,000 as fast as possible, so anybody that can help us out there, we truly appreciate it. Got Title, got Hoop here with me as always. I'm going to break down all things Bills at the Texans. Good total. Decent enough, close enough spread. We've tried to underestimate these Bills before, and then or overestimate them, I should say, and then they go out and get beat. So we'll see how this game goes. But Hoop, going to bring you in first, man. It's a fun one here. I think this is going to be a good game. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Can you guys see me? I'm showing like a black screen here.
We can see you.
I gotta pop
I see
out.
you, but I don't see me. That's funny. Can you see me?
I'm like fully blacked out. It must be something.
I can see all you and me.
Lucky Title. I see black screen, so I don't know what's maybe. Let me see. An ad. I don't know. Something's going on. Can you guys see me?
I can see you.
I don't know. All right. As long as you guys can hear, I don't know. I guess we'll continue on. All right, there we go. Yeah, we'll figure out something to put there in the middle. Yeah, there's something going on with StreamYard for sure. But yeah, so I mean, relatively big spread here in the game. Obviously, Davis Mills in and Stroud out. I would have liked to see Stroud in, make it a little more interesting. The Bills favored by, I don't know, about 6. And to me, this is like a tough game. And we've seen these games so many times where it's the Bills facing off against a team that just doesn't have a ton of offensive pieces. They're pretty big favorites here. And these are tough ones to figure out for sure. The one thing I can say, like the winning team probably looks somewhat ugly, I think, at the end of the night. I mean, there's a lot of, random names in play here. No Dalton Kincaid. On the Texan side, just a few guys. Do have my guy Dalton Schultz, though. Dalton Schultz is looking nice, continues to rack up all those targets. The Bills pass catchers, who the hell is it going to be? Is this Tyrell Shavers guy like a fantasy asset? We'll see. We'll talk through it. But like this slate for me, and I hope you guys can add some clarity, I'm struggling to find captains that I want to play. Like, obviously, you can play Josh Allen. Obviously, you can play James Cook. Nico Collins is always going to be a viable option. But after some of these household names, I do think it gets pretty difficult, and you're probably, looking for a certain sort of game if going to some of these other captains. So that's where I need help tonight, figuring out some of these other captains.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a little bit here. Title, I'll bring you in first, man. What's going on? How you doing this week?
Doing well. Solid game. I mean, yeah, the Bills only favored by 5.5, coming off a phenomenal performance by them against a backup quarterback in Mills. So I think Vegas is showing some respect to the Texans defense, to them being at home, to Thursdays being a lot of chaos. It was 6 earlier today too, so a little money on the Houston side. No Keon Coleman again. Some other beat up receivers in the Bills room. I mean, yeah, Shavers, unfortunately, like the role actually, it was fine last week. I mean, the advanced stats and stuff, he looked really good on the field. Unfortunately, the price is low. I wanted him to be like the Flornay, like put him at 5K and just where people don't want to spend that money, get him low owned. Fortunately, that's not the case, but I'm still 14%, maybe just comes up a little bit. But yeah, one of those interesting Bill slates, different than most, where they are going to be the value on the slate because of the beat up receiver room with how many guys are rotating in. They're all cheap outside of Shakir and no Kincaid.
Yeah, lots to talk about when it comes to this. Lots to talk about in the nation right now, and we got to start there. I will say, not sure what's going on with our screen share. I wish it would just work, but hopefully you guys can see the screen because there's a big news in the nation. Pretty monumental. Actually changed yesterday for Ship It Games. If you guys see at the top there, it is now up to 85,000. Our man Sharks right here. Money to be made tonight. Let's have a night, Sin Crew. And I don't know what's going on with it, but I will say this one, hopefully you see it. Made a special graphic. Got to give a huge shout out one of, if not the most generous things I've ever seen in the history of Ship It Nation. Almost 3 years now that, since we started this thing off, and this was phenomenal. Sharks 8819 turned $300 into 65,000 plus in the MMA streets on Saturday. Said, I'm going to help out the Ship It games a little bit. Do you guys mind? I said, no, of course, it's all about just helping out each other, helping out the community, having fun. We put this on for a reason. We wanted to reward our community and people that come in and join it. Everyone uses that buzzword, but everyone that's actually in the Ship It Nation community will tell you it's the real deal. And this just proves it once again. Most valuable community and the real MVP is Sharks 8819, a Ship It donation of 5,124 cash dollars to round up the prize pool right now to 85,000 overall. So thank you so much to Sharks. First of all, let me just go over here for a second and just try and update you. Hey, it's working. Let's see if this sticks. So $85,000. You could still get in, even if you buy like a monthly football pass and get in and just see what the community is all about. You'll be part of this, but that changed the game. So here's the winners already that this will affect. And then anybody upcoming, we have 35 winners. There will be 2 more announced on the show today that get in. We have winners number 36 and 37 will get their golden Ship-Its. 1 to play against Hoop in the head-to-head, 1 to play in the 555 Millimaker share ship. So let's try and get it up even more. We have made a little bit of money that contributed to the first number to get to that, and then Sharks putting it in. The top 3 prizes remain unchanged. These are cash prizes that Ship It Nation is giving away for $20,000 to the ultimate winner, $10,000 to second place, $5,000 to third place. These prizes all changed. So we told you guys we'd pop it up a little bit. Everybody that got in for around $300, even on the Saber Sim NFL only package was around $300. So that's now 11th through 50th. We'll get 300 cash and a month of the ultimate Saber Sim membership. Our partners at Saber Sim threw in almost $25,000 in prizes. You'll see the 1-year memberships, including everything. This 6th to 10th went from 500 to 1,000. 5th went from 1,000 to 1,500. And 4th went from 2,000 to 2,500. So again, shout out to our man Sharks. Again, can't say enough just about how crazy that is, but that's the generosity and the type of people we have inside the Ship It Nation community. Hoop, kick it over to you, man, but certainly the most generous thing I've seen in a long time at any site I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, I mean, super thankful for the donation, and very rare and just a quick fire too. You won the money, and you hit me up. You're like, yeah, check out PayPal. Just got a donation. Boom, $5,000 just like that. Definitely appreciate it. Means a lot to us. Means a lot to our community. And obviously looking forward to the Ship It game stuff, the end of it. I mean, it's cool to see those names there and know someone's going to win some big bucks just for being a member here at Ship It Nation. So the generosity, could not have appreciated anymore. The whole community appreciates it. And, thanks again to Sharks. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, love to see it. I'm going to see if we can get this shit settled once and for all. Might be a no screen share type of day because this new system's driving me crazy. But we appreciate the patience. And again, shout out to
brutal.
Unbelievable. Like, this just makes no sense at all.
It's literally perfect on my end, which is the funniest thing. Like, I'm watching you guys do all this.
I'm curious. I think it's if you click on something, as soon as it gets there and you click mute or anything, it goes away. So for me now, I can't see myself, but I can see your beautiful faces.
Anyway, this is just nuts. I apologize. I don't know what else to tell everybody, but let's get into it. Let's help Hoop try and pick some of these captains. It's insane. Just driving me absolutely nuts. We're going to change providers in a minute. I'm getting so pissed off. But anyway, let's talk about this title. I'll start with you. We've got quarterbacks. We've got the Josh Allen scenario. This is kind of, to me, the opposite of the other night where we had the conversation, which, by the way, like, Geno Smith did not work out, but my Pickens play worked out quite nicely. And the main premise of the Geno thing, and we'll have these conversations tonight as well, is when you're looking at a captain pool, it's not really about the pick. It's about the concept. Bowers was owned as much as he was because of price. It was, yes, he's Brock Bowers. Yes, he can have a good game. It's one single slate, et cetera, but we just knew he was going to be 20% up top, which he was not even near 20% to be optimal. A little bit different tonight because we don't have many optimal type captains. Everyone's sort of like 10% or less. And then Josh Allen just popping off the page title. So I'll go to you. Give me your thoughts. But I mean, I think that's kind of what you got to look at when you're looking at this type of stuff. I'm not sure if Hoop keeps pressing buttons or not, but it's just tilting the shit out of me. Let's just leave it. All right, go ahead, Title.
It's all good out. Yeah, it's good on mine. And it seems like it's good for everyone watching at least. But we got Hoop and Tambo tilted over here.
I'm on ultimate tilt right now. Like
it's almost funny to me. I get to watch these two on tilt. Everyone on my screen is
I know
good.
it is. Hoop can't see himself right now, but on our end, I'm hosting. It's so hard when it's like zing, 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 and then I'm not seeing it. So I'm like, just make it stay. I wish it would just last. It's crazy.
I can't see you now either. All I can see is the title's been unfazed in the bottom left.
I'm just actually laughing. I'm loving the tilt. I can feel the energy. But yeah, I really don't have much hot takes at the captain spot. James Cook, Josh Allen on the Bill side, Nico Collins, who's been a monster with Davis Mills, Woody Marks, who's overtaken Nick Chubb, and then I'll throw in a little Dalton Schultz as well because he's in a different price range than the rest of them. But I really can't make a case for anyone else. I mean, the Bills keep rotating receivers. They played 2 tight ends. There's no backup running back to talk about. Texans side, they're implied for a lot less points. They also are mixing in different receivers. Like if you want to take a shot at Jaden Higgins, sure. Maybe that's my next guy. I'm going to keep it short in the captain spot though, and I can get overweight on all of them. Yeah,
one thing that's interesting, Hoop, is just the setup of when we've seen these slates before. It's usually a Chiefs or a Mahomes slate or something, and Josh Allen's popular. We see that he is hard to stack, but that's a benefit in Showdown, right? Because like you said, you just get to sort of spin the roulette wheel. And I know you've done certain slates like this and done well with them where you're like, you know what? I'm not going to try and get crazy up top. I'm going to play Josh Allen. There's so many options I can put with him. There's so many ways that I can play. I can move around. I can leave a bunch of money, all these different factors. Is that kind of how you're seeing it? I know you said you need help picking some other ones, but who else outside of that? And then how do you see it as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, probably not anyone else, and just know that I'm going to have more combinations than the rest of the field. And it's going to be Josh Allen. It's going to be James Cook, Nico Collins. And I don't mind adding Dalton Schultz. I mean, you obviously don't have to twist my arm to get me to play more Dalton Schultz. So maybe a little bit biased, but he's getting peppered, just a ton of targets. And if they are playing from behind, it could just be all him and Nico. So I feel pretty good about Schultz as well, but I just don't want to. I mean, you need volume. You're definitely going to need some volume, and I just don't see the volume out of any of these guys. The Bills pass catchers now, just so many random dudes coming in and out. They got Gabe Davis back in the mix. They got this Shavers guy. They got, I already said Davis. They had multiple tight ends they'll use, Joshua Palmer. And then on the Texans side, I just don't see it being anyone outside of Nico or Dalton Schultz. I don't want to play Woody Marks up top. So it's probably just going to be those 4. And again, I'll have more of all 4 of those guys and more combinations. And, hopefully that's the winning captain that you need. And even more so on FanDuel when we get there, I just really struggle to make the case for anyone outside of Allen, James Cook, and I guess, maybe throw Nico Collins in there, but it's difficult.
Yeah, one thing that's crazy too is even with Josh Allen, for example, just at the premium ownership and everything that we're talking about is because it doesn't matter what the slate plays out like, really. If it's a super low scoring slate, it still could be he's the points for their side. If it's a super high scoring slate, it's like him and he spread it out to 5 different people and ran 1 or 2 in. It's like he's going to be very likely to be up top regardless of how you look at things. So I will say one thing, Title. I love me some Woody Marks this season. Definitely up a few bucks on Woody Marks. So I think he's interesting on the other side just because it is a running back that flips the build. You mentioned Higgins, obviously Collins. I think of those 3 for sure. If you want to save the money, it's probably Dalton versus Dawson, whether you're selecting a tight end or not. But it's going to be really hard to figure out with Palmer, Davis, Shavers, all those guys. And I think it's going to be more likely that I'm pushing them into Josh Allen captain builds where they're already going to be different enough with guys like Ty Johnson, Palmer, Davis, Shavers, Knox. You can mix all those guys into your Josh Allen captains and just leave it from there. I also think we got to think about mixing some classic with Showdown thoughts. And this is very, results oriented, recency bias of, on Sunday when everybody who did stack Josh Allen did not get there because they stacked him and you needed just to play him naked or him with Sean Tucker on the other side of that game. That would be the perfect setup. So maybe there is something to Josh Allen with 1 and building a 2-4. I know 1-5s and people play these and they're fine. I just think they're more built. And from my back testing and researching and digging into showdown slates, they're much better in smaller fields, like 200 or less. You can play a 1-5 because it's not that you can't play it on the big slate or on the lottery, but it's more likely someone found the 2-4 that has you beat than it is the other way. So just noting that, I think there is some interesting 2-4s with Josh Allen up top. Title, anything else you want to add at captain? If not, you could take us into more thoughts around Davis Mills and Josh Allen, and then anything else you want to go from there, running back.
Yeah, I think 1-5 would be bad on this slate for the sense of 5-1 Bills and 4-2 Bills is the popular build just because they're the value on top of the James Cook, Josh Allen studs you want as favorites. So if you're playing a 3-3 even, that's different in itself. Definitely a 2-4 is different. And I could see that working. Definitely would have Josh or James Cook, probably Josh though, in those 2-4 Bills just because those two can do so much of it. I don't know, maybe I'll get a little Shavers at captain. I've been going back and forth, like his separation analytics was off the charts. I've been calling for this guy since the beginning of the year. My buddy's a Bills fan too. He's always watching. Like Keon's been dust all year. The Shavers dude's actually good. The problem is they're still rotating in Shakir, Josh Palmer. It was Samuel last week. Now he's out, but Moore will be in. Gabe Davis. Like there's still enough bodies there where I don't love it, but he'll be a little owned in the flex. I don't hate it up top. Quarterbacks, not really. Like Davis Mills, I'm not really going to play him at captain, maybe 0, but he's 40% in the flex. He'll sling it if they get from behind. I got like him and Josh look good there. I'll probably play more Josh Allen at captain and be underweight the flex. I feel like that's kind of how I go about Josh Allen slates. Still no hot take there. And you want me to go to running back or stop there?
Well, you can go to running back in a second. I was going to say that. So that's interesting because I think it's more likely I'll be still underweight Allen at the captain, but I would definitely play him in the flex because of how much he fits. Like I said, he's game script independent. Like if it's not enough, it could be a low scoring game, but he still threw the touchdowns to Shakir or something like that. And it ends up being that. So I would, I would look at that a little bit differently, but I think I get it. And like it sets it up for how it goes. It's Davis Mills that's a little bit trickier, but because he's still a quarterback at just 14.4, it's does that $4,000, well, $4,200 from him to Allen do anything? It's just the optimal difference. So I could definitely see where you're coming from there. Anything else? Yeah, go ahead.
I just don't want to click other names at captain is kind of what it comes down to. Like, yeah, it's hard for me to click Mills, Palmer. So I'm just naturally just going to jam the studs.
I think I like the Cook call that you had there too, just to finish it out. Like that would be another thing. So yeah, go ahead into running back. Speaking of Cook, you can talk about him. They've got Ty Johnson, Ray Davis. The other side is Woody Marks kind of taking over, but the Bills do give up a lot of touchdowns on the ground, like to the running back. And so I could still see Chubb being valuable in the flex here tonight too. What's your thoughts on these running back rooms?
Yeah, James Cook, Woody Marks, pretty much. I mean, if Chubb is 11% at a real price of 3,200, I think that's probably one of the worst plays on the slate. Even a touchdown, still not even sure he gets there. I'd rather play Ty Johnson for almost half the ownership for just 200 more. I mean, he can catch at least a couple passes out of the backfield. He clearly has taken over the running back 2 role. So yeah, I mean, I don't love Ty or Nick Chubb, but I do like Woody Marks and James Cook a lot. If you're playing a lot of teams, though, don't X out with the RB2s.
Yeah, I think I like that call. Like a Nick Chubb anytime touchdown is probably a better way to go about it than at 3,200 if he actually gets there on this slate. Like it's going to require a lot of things. But again, it's not how often you're right. It's how much you win when you are right, like you say. So it's possible, but I agree on that. The other thing that's interesting on the other side, and Hoop, I'll kick it to you on this, Ty Johnson, 3,400. It's not really about him versus Chubb because no one's playing Chubb, or 10% are playing Chubb. It's not a big deal, but nobody's really talking about Ty Johnson, and he's priced right between Shavers, Davis, just below Palmer. It doesn't mean he's better than them. They project better and they should. But in this type of slate, we just saw it. Wasn't it last week when he threw one down the sidelines to Ty Johnson to the house or whatever? Like anything's possible with a guy like him and the way they're using him. So I definitely think it's more interesting that he comes in at the similar price point to where the 15 to 20% guys could be, and he's down at like 6 to 10%, let's say, or maybe he gets to 10. It's not that much. So Hoop, I'll go to you. James Cook, Woody Marks, the rest of the running backs. What do you got there?
Yeah, in on Cook, in on Marks. I mean, Cook is a little expensive at 11.4, but we've seen these slates a lot, and it's usually when the Bills are favored and in a good spot and put up the points, it's like it has to be most likely one of Josh Allen or James Cook that you need in some way, shape, or form. So if you're into setting rules, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Like setting a rule to have, Josh Allen, captain, flex, James Cook, captain, flex, at least one of that on all your teams. I'd be fine with that on a slate like this. Woody Mark's good with him. I mean, going to get all the work. I think the price tag's fair for a guy getting all the work at 9-2. Ty Johnson over Nick Chubb by a lot for me when building teams. I don't think it's particularly close. And ownership, I did want to pull that up. It's looking like more to Chubb we have. I really hope that's the case, because I'll just flip that in 150 and get more Ty Johnson over Nick Chubb. So that's kind of how I see it. Nothing really crazy at the running back position.
Yeah, shout out to my man Stat. I know he's going to come on and do a show with us here soon for the Takedown Breakdown. I did a show with him last Thanksgiving, but he says you're TD hunting with Ty Johnson, doesn't have a game all season with 4 touches. The one thing I like about Stat is we disagree on a lot, so it's good for a nice back and forth camaraderie. It's like I don't care about the rest of the season at all.
It's hard to really say that because we're playing a 1-game slate. Like you're TD hunting with everybody that you're playing. Like every single person you roster tonight, you need them to score a TD in some way, shape, or form. So like that sort of argument is just way more applicable on main slates to me than a showdown slate. Like, yes, like you probably, if you're playing an offensive guy tonight, he probably has to score a touchdown.
Yeah, I also think it's because I even teased it for like at least he got a catch last week, and last week has nothing to do with this week in the exact same tone. I don't want to change gears on you, talk about both sides. I'm talking mostly about slate dynamics and daily fantasy, being that, like we just said, it's tonight only. That's all I care about is tonight. But the slate dynamics are a couple things. One, it's about everyone landing on a guessing game of Gabe Davis, Shavers, whoever else they decide to use in that range. He could be a guy that fills in there, and then also Houston does have a pretty good defense. If they are getting after Josh Allen or they're coming at him, it could be some dump offs there or different things that we could see him used in. So I'm just taking the opportunity. It's not like I'm going to have some crazy overweight stance. I just sort of like when we go through these position by positions to get ideas of what would work and then try and apply it towards how is everybody else playing the game, because we're playing a game against them. Nobody knows who's going to score the touchdowns tonight or anything until it happens. That's DFS for you. Just like last week with the Sean Tucker game, I went off on my rant for yesterday. Everyone tilting Sean Tucker. Like no one had him. He didn't hurt you. I used my example of like 100 people in a room and some walk out. The Sean Tucker room had 100 people in it. They said, who's playing him? One guy chopped his arm off and then they all walked out, and 0.1, his little piece of arm stayed in the room, and that was it. And it was useless as your Sean Tucker lineup. So that tells you all you need to know about that. So go back to you, Hoop. Let's move to the wide receiver room. Still a lot to talk about here, but Keon Coleman expected to be out. The news, the most recent is like 3 or 4 hours ago, said it's going to be the scratch again is what we're expecting to see. So that tells you everything. I saw an interview, actually, speaking of Shavers, who Title brought up earlier, with Kay Adams a little bit earlier. He said, I'm the big bro. That's my little bro. I'm doing this stuff. He's acting crazy. He's like, we got to keep him in line a little bit. Well, clearly you can't show up to the team meetings a la CeeDee Lamb and Pickens, but shit, maybe they should let Keon Coleman in the game. CD and Pickens sat for one drive and then had huge games. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe that's the secret.
Was the CeeDee Lamb story, was that legit about the casino thing, or is that just like a rumor?
I don't know.
That'd be badass, man.
Red Rock Casino.
I'm guessing true. I guess multiple sources. Oh yeah, I think true. In Vegas? I mean, yeah.
Oh, for sure. That's the only report I saw. I was like, well, if this is true, I'd assume.
I mean, what else are they getting benched for?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm saying my argument would be, if it's true, where's the pitcher? Like, there's no way I'm at a casino and I see CeeDee Lamb puking and I'm not taking enough to tell.
He probably locked himself in the bathroom, puked, came out, and what are you gonna? Hey, buddy,
ready for the game tonight? I
don't think he's just like puking like.
I'm getting that bag real quick off CD. Yo, you want this up?
Let's go. But again, I have no. I didn't see a confirmation. I didn't see a full pick. But why else? They don't just randomly get benched the first drive, but he's too good to be benched all game.
Yeah,
I mean,
something clearly did happen. I mean, really, they should be looking to do that maybe more often. I mean, it's the best game the Cowboys played all season by a wide margin. Yes, it was against the Raiders, who suck, but they balled out for sure. So that is a good story, though. We've all been there, man. Not before an NFL game, not before an NFL game, that's for sure. But
when was that? When was that?
Yeah. All right, where are we at? Wide receivers?
I don't know, Hoop, but you're winning a milli tonight when there's not a milli up top on any contest. So that's going to be huge. How you doing it?
I guess I'm going to have to do something a little bit different. I got to find
a lot of head-to-heads.
I'm going to have to get in the PLO streets with the title and play.
He's got to have all uniques title.
You can lose $1 million.
He's got to have all pure unique lineups and take down like 1st through 5th or 6th or whatever. 6 unique lineups, all finish in the top 6 or something.
Yeah, I'm pumped up though, because whatever you just clicked on brought my screens back. So now I'm actually really excited. I can now, whatever you click the comment, and as soon as you click that comment, like I'm back in action. I can see everything. So I'm feeling good again. There it goes, gone.
Mine's gone too. Someone said
I have no clue. I'm literally watching everything.
Back. Let's go.
What's
I'm
going on?
Comment up. Can you see everything now, Tambo? You back?
Yeah, we're back for like 2 seconds. I'm so beyond tilted, it's not even funny. So I'm gone again. It's all good.
We need to keep a comment up. Maybe not.
I wish I had the secret button. I would do this once a month and get them going. Trust me.
Oh, you would love. Yeah, lucky. All right, there we go. I'm good. Let's not click on anything the rest of the show. How about that? Does that work?
That would work. Let's see if it works. Never touch a button. If it is, title did it now. Hoop. Hands up. Me and you.
Hand check.
Look, no, our hands were up for that.
Yeah. Title.
Yeah, I was typing in chat responding to this dude.
It's as soon as he chatted. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's any sort of click. This is wild. Wide receiver, a lot of options. Nico Collins. I mean, I kind of want to say, like, you look at all these options, he's probably the only safe, secure option. Like on the slate, he's getting a bunch of targets. Wide receiver 1, massive upside. After that, it's wide open. I mean, I want to say Shakir is safe, but we saw last week, like even with Keon Coleman out, like, I had a ton of Shakir and probably cost me a shit ton of money last week, but 3 targets, Coleman's out, like did absolutely nothing. That's somewhat concerning. I mean, showdown for sure tonight. I'm going to be interested, but man, just did he even finish with a catch? Like he had 1 catch for -3 yards. So he had 0.7 fantasy points. Pretty concerning. Palmer, Shavers, title kind of said he wished the price was a little bit higher. I agree, because he's going to be popular at 2,400, but maybe he's the guy moving forward. So I think you almost have to embrace it. It's not like he's over the top popular, not like 30-40%. Probably we're showing what do we got? Yeah, we have it too low at 14. Saber showing 20, probably around 20. Could come up a little bit, but almost have to embrace it on the slate. So I'm good with him. Some Gabe Davis, Elijah Moore. There's so many options. That is the one nice thing about Josh Allen captain teams. You have so many different guys to pair him with, so many different combinations, and we haven't even got to tight end yet. So you got Shakir, you got Palmer, Shavers, Gabe Davis, Elijah Moore. Can play him with all those guys. On the Houston side, I think it's a little more difficult. We already talked about Nico, obviously wide receiver 1, safest wide receiver on the slate, but you're paying the premium at 11-2. Higgins and Christian Kirk, Hutchinson. So a lot of guys here. I mean, a lot of them are going to bust. You can throw Noel in the mix. Like there is a lot of downside to these wide receivers. Like there's no way. Like, how many did I rattle off that have like a decent projection? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4 probably full out bust, I would say. So, I mean, very low floors for a lot of these guys makes it pretty difficult. But again, it all comes down to roster construction and how you're building with these guys. But, Shavers definitely stands out. Coming off the big game, maybe he's the one that Josh Allen starts to lean into a little bit, but, the price is a little bit too cheap and, he's going to get some ownership. But it's, this is the spot to come to for value for sure. A lot of different options, a lot of downside as well here.
Yeah. What about Gabe Davis title there? He's 1,400 more than Shavers. I know we're showing similar ownership right now. How do you think that actually plays out?
Yeah, I think Shavers will definitely be higher owned than Gabe Davis. I don't know. I think he should be higher owned, but Gabe Davis had solid work. The problem is he doesn't have a receiving prop, which is a little concerning.
One thing too is like, isn't Samuel and Hart, like whoever they brought up, aren't two of those guys out again too?
Yeah, so Samuel Hardman are out, but Elijah Moore missed last game, so I'm just expecting him to slide right into that Curtis Samuel role, which he played almost 50% of snaps, and Elijah Moore is all the way down there at 1K.
So I got Gabe Davis with a same 24.5 to Shavers 23.5, but you pay 1,400 for a yard prop. Who cares? I'm just, you know what I mean? That's
nothing. Yeah, I'm glad you said I'm looking at DraftKings. I didn't see anything for him, which was a little interesting. I just refreshed, nothing, but I'm glad you said that. I'm fine with Gabe Davis. I think Shavers is just the better player. He has more legs. He has more upside. So I lean that, but Gabe Davis is a receiver that will be mixed in. So like Hoop said, 4 of these guys might bust. I mean, I might raise it to like 6 or 7 of these guys might bust, but that's fine. It's at their price tag. A lot of these Bills guys, to be honest, my least 2 favorite, I think, in the flex are Nico and Shakir because of their price tags. When you play them, you're more unlikely to get Josh and James Cook and Woody Marks, and I like them a lot. Like Nico looks great, but he's 11.2K. DraftKings got him right, which will keep his ownership down a little more. I want him to fully get there. I'm more likely to play him at captain that way. 13 in the flex might not be enough, and yeah, like Shakir's ADOT's just so low, and they have so many of these other Bills receivers mixing in. I think I'd just rather take the 4K, 5, 6K savings and just try and get these other guys right, because if it does pay off, it can get a little more unique. So my second favorite, or actually my favorite receiver on the Texan side at price is definitely Jaden Higgins, though. Like him and Mills, he had 7 targets in back-to-back games, 9, 15 DK points. If we're looking at the props, he's the clear 130.5, which isn't great, but the next highest is Kirk at 14.5, Hutchinson 13.5, and his touchdown prop solid as well. So he's had good rapport with Mills. He overtook the outside receiver from Hutchinson's spot. I think he's a good play.
Yeah, there's
and I prefer Higgins to this, Philly.
Yeah, what's the other prop I just saw too? Palmer's 28.5. So he's right. They're all right in the same. They're just tossing them all in the same bucket. Dawson Knox, when we get there, is 26.5. Elijah Moore at 11.5 is the one that's down the board. So, and then you've got Shakir at 43.5 is what we're seeing there.
And 43 is not like, I mean, you double the price, like the props on all of them at the ownership or at their price. You know what I mean? Like 43.5 is almost the worst one at cost because he's 8K and these other guys are like sub 5. So yeah, that's all.
Or if you just find the money, which we clearly have on this slate, you can leave $6,000 on the table just off the hop, like easily just looking at these builds. And then the other thing is, if you get, because of that, you have the money, it's almost 75 for Nico, right? Like if you just want to go up there, him and Mills have obviously connected a bunch. There is something to be said, I guess, going back to it, and I'll just take it now because we're on wide receiver, and then I'll kick it to Hoop. But the Nico, like maybe like a 2-4 with Nico Collins up top, because if he just sucks up everything on that side and it does get spread out on the other side, it'd be in a lower scoring game. I think that would work better, because then it would be the fact that Josh Allen doesn't still just crush and get everything that goes with the passing touchdowns, plus the rushing, plus everything. But if they can get after him just a little bit, keep it in a bit lower scoring game, I could definitely see that, because you could afford it easily. And then you also could get there on him getting majority of the work. Well, on the other side, it's completely spread out. Hoop, anything else you got to add?
No, sir. I like all the points you guys made, and it is tough with Nico. I mean, he's definitely the safest of the pass catchers, but you're making sacrifices in your lineup if you're paying the 11.2 for Nico Collins. But it's a lot of risk here, and I threw out the 4 number as like a baseline. Like I think 4 of these guys probably bust, but like Title said, it could end up being a lot more.
Yeah, I kind of like Nico more up top than in the flex, just because of that reasoning. Like, again, it's like if he's going to get there, it's like a certain type of to me, it's more like a low scoring game where that works and he just gets all the work and everybody else gets spread out, and it doesn't like kill you if you don't have Josh up top. That's the type of build that would be, but more than likely it's a Josh Allen captain, just the way things seem to go. So Hoop, I'll go to you, your boy, Dalton Schultz. We got Dalton versus Dawson. Dawson Knox for the Bills, Dalton Schultz for the Texans. And then, of course, you got the backups. It is a primetime slate, so we could see that be a thing as usual. But what do you got at tight end?
No surprise, definitely. A lot of Dalton Schultz. He's like the fourth guy I was, kind of considering up top. He's definitely fine in the flex. A lot of targets if they're playing from behind. He could see a ton of targets, and we've seen, his last 5 games, 10, 3, 8, 11, 9. He's like wide receiver 2 on this team when you factor in all the other guys that they're kind of mixing in. And I know there was some time with Nico Collins out, but regardless, he's great play, great price. After him, though, it definitely gets uncomfortable. Dawson Knox at 4K. No Kincaid, but I mean, what is his role really, even without Kincaid? Like, you're kind of banking on just like a touchdown. And is that enough? Could be. He had 3 targets, I believe. And that was a game where it was actually kind of back and forth like that. The Bills took a somewhat bigger lead towards the end of that game, but for the most of that game, that was like a back and forth game, and these pass catchers still didn't get it done. So I do worry a little bit. Don't really like Jackson Hawes, and then I guess the 600 for Cade Stover. Like, there's so many cheap wide receivers. I think I just would rather go there than Stover. So I'm not really liking any of these guys outside of Dalton Schultz. I prefer the pass catchers, even with Knox. Like, I prefer the pass catchers that we talked, or the wide receivers that we talked about, even over Knox at 4K. So not really loving much here outside of Schultz.
Yeah, do me a favor, chat. Make sure you hit this one up. Give us the final. I said final score, and we don't need your core. Give us the final score and who wins in the chat. I want to know if you got Buffalo or Houston. And what do you see the score of the game ending at? Let's know in the chat. We'll pull some of them up on the screen. We are going to get to our 2 Ship It Games winners here just shortly. But title, I'll go to you. Same position, tight end. What do you got?
Yeah, pretty much the same as Hoop. Like, Knox is fine. I do like Schultz. He's the second favorite target. Stover, Hawes. I prefer the receivers in that price range. But Knox is fine. Like, he has the second best receiving, or the second best of the receivers, tight ends, touchdown prop. Shakir plus 295, he's plus 310, and his 28.5 receiving props along those other guys for a little cheaper, the Shavers, the Palmers of the world, and that. So I really have nothing bad to say about them. The Hawes price is in the same range as Shavers. If you're leaving like $0 and he's the way to get different, I don't hate it. You probably need him to fall in the box, but yeah, pretty much the same as Hoop.
Man, I'm just trying to see some of these scores. 20-13, 13-6, 20-10, 23-16, 28-13, 24-14, 20-12. Man, a lot. 23-20, 31-13 is still under. Like, I think just the main thing about this, the reason I brought that up and started it was this. Like, Philly, our man, Philly Phantom, shout out to him, always here supporting, always in the Discord, round the clock, crushing it lately on a little mini heater right now. So we love to see that too. Says Bills are number one versus tight end. Does it factor? Is Schultz hurt? And then Houston is definitely gonna give Cook some trouble, etc., etc. I legit have never cared less about any of these defense. Usually, like, I'm all over this stuff and like pointing it out and like, at least, do you see this? Do you see that? This slate, man, is just playing DFS. This is going to be DFS at its finest. I think it's going to be, you have to just play the game. You have to take on the risk. If, whatever plays end up getting there, I keep saying this one, but it's a good one, to me, is the plays, the picks and plays are a product of the process. And it's a great way to put it, because it's like however you end up on something tonight, it could just be because that's what gave you the leverage to make your lineup play to where it could be in a good enough spot to be able to take this thing down with less chops, unique, etc. So I'm just playing the game tonight. We don't get a ton of slates where you have it just can be completely wide open on either side and can almost just ignore some of the defensive stuff, because I don't know. I go back to you here on this one, Hoop, but how do you have this game? Like, I guess, what's the chances in your mind, if you're putting a percentage on, I'll kick you with like a titleism. Like, what percentage chance, he loves getting the odds over there. What percentage chance is this game 50 plus points scored?
And it doesn't seem likely. I mean, the Texans have played just some nasty, grinded out sort of games, and they, want that style of play. I mean, I think if this is a high scoring game, I just think it's the Bills just absolutely blowing out the Texans. Like, to me, that's the only way this gets into like the 50 total territory. I just don't see a back and forth like 30 to 27 sort of game. Like if it gets big, to me, it's going to be the Bills smashing the Texans. And I will say in terms of the matchup stuff, it's too difficult on a one game slate to really go deep into the weeds of the individual matchups. Like you have limited number of options as is. So we just don't have the luxury to be picky on the individual matchups in terms of this team's DVP and whatnot. I just can't do it on a showdown slate, in my opinion. I just don't think you can.
What do you think, Title? What percentage would you put on it?
37.2.
Okay.
Precise. That's what it is on 50.5 on DraftKings, 30 plus 169.
You got the math on us. It's there. Like I said, it's a good one. Titleism. I love that. And I've been doing it a lot more lately with people because I think it's an interesting way to like get a thought process around and how are you thinking about this and what are the possibilities? I just thought it's funny. I think probably 80% of those people that typed in the chat were on the under without putting it and saying, I think this game goes under. It was more of like all the scores led to under 44-ish, 44.5. I didn't see the latest on it, but it's around that somewhere, I think, right? So what do we got? 43.5 right now. It's gone down a little bit. So maybe that's what it is. People are coming in on the under, but we'll see. All right, kickers and D's. We've been wavering back and forth on this one the last couple slates, Title, and last slate was a kicker slate till it wasn't, right? And and then in the end it almost was, and I needed them to kick that off. I know it was like they're up big, but when they went for CeeDee Lamb on 4th, I was like, just kick it with Aubrey. That would be so good. And they did not do it. And so that hurt.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, both kickers, they did fine. It just wasn't the slate you need. I mean, Pickens, what a grown man game. And the blue inactive stuff, like today, I think we're kind of safe, but I really don't build my lineups right now because like that one inactive definitely changes things. Kickers, D's, we're in a dome. People like the under. If you like that, kickers just have to be really good plays. Fairbairn, Prater, nothing bad about them. Defenses are a little cheaper. I mean, it sounds like both teams like the defenses, but yeah, I mean, Houston's defense is really good. Josh can make mistakes trying to extend plays. So even if they score 24, 28 points, Texans defense still can get there. It takes one play. We say it all the time. Backup quarterback for the Texans. I think Bills D is fine too. So yeah, at ownership, 10%, 20, 28, 22. I'm going to be playing all of them. I think they're appropriately owned on this slate.
Yeah, that was crazy too. That was a joke in the Discord on Monday, but obviously there was some meaning behind the kneels at the end with the Nealand, scenario and unfortunate news. So I think there was part of that too, but everyone's like, oh, it's because of the total 49.5. They're stopping scoring points at 49, or they went for it because of this. It's like they're up so big. Teams always go for it. And I mean, not always, but they should, and they often do go for it in that position. So we'll see how it plays out. Hoop, sorry, do you want to add anything at kickers and D's?
No, nothing really to add. I mean, yeah, fine with, probably a little more open to defense than normal. And what's the ownership looking like? Let me see. Texans, we have at 10, Bills at 20. I don't know. I think they have a chance to come down a little bit just because so many of the pass catchers are kind of in that range. So yeah, I'm more open to defenses than I typically am.
Yeah. Well, I like going through this stuff and then sort of just thinking through, do we have anything else to add at the end? And what can I sort of bring based on what we talked about? One thing's for certain. I think it's definitely a good night to build kind of in sets, like I always have talked about, where it's like, if you think it's the under, that will play into a lot of different factors. Hoop, you just made a great point of like the kickers and the D's are in the price ranges just slightly ahead of all the receivers that people are trying to pick between to make them their value plays. And if you have it as a lower scoring game or a game that sets up for multiple field goals or defensive turnovers, sacks, things like that, then I think that would make sense. And that would actually potentially get different because it looks like the kickers will be higher owned than the defenses. And we could just revert back to double D's that we've seen these last couple of weeks. But on the alternative side is if you do have it going over, I think that's where it's like Josh Allen up top. What mix and match are you doing with him that's different? Getting overweight on that and then finding a way to get different, in different spots or just leave a ton of salary on the table. So Title, any other final thoughts from you or anything else you want to add? And then we'll talk about the FanDuel side as well.
No, like to your point of, I mean, yeah, I think a main slate, you can use the I know ball stuff a little more with just so many more players, where a showdown, it's really getting tricky if you're just deviating your process every single slate because this is going to happen today and that's your feeling. I mean, that's why I always bring up props, numbers, ownership. I mean, props are out there. Like they're taking millions or whatever amount of money on it. I'll trust that over today. I think this, but we try and mix it both in. It's important to have takes, but you can get in trouble if you're taking your takes too far.
Yeah, I love that advice because it's I think something that people confuse a little bit too is like if you don't have, you know what it's like, Hoop, right? If you don't have hot takes, what are you then? And when we talk, and then it gets flipped and we talk about like when people are betting and don't have receipts. And that's to me bigger deal because you're telling everyone to go bet their hard-earned money, but then you're not backing it up on a specific play that you're putting out there. But in this case, we do talk through more process, but to Title's point, it's like the takes or the hard stances are legit. We play DFS. You can look us up in the lobby. Go to your other favorite sites, look up your favorite players and see if they're in the $20 lobby tonight and how many lineups they're playing. It's not rude. It's just factual. I'm just telling you, if you want to see the truth, go look it up. We do take pride in that, but our stances will be clean cut and clear. We put it on the site into our slate plans. We put it in our player pools. We go out and actually play what we say. The stances become what we decide is our lane to end the night before, when lock hits and the game goes, and then we root on our community. If we're not up at the top or they root us on it, it's a great feeling. That's really what it comes down to. So we still have stances, but it's nicer to talk through the slate from a perspective of what you guys are thinking in the chat. I think that's awesome when it's like, oh, I'm thinking this, how could this work? Well, that would work like this. And then some people put it together and we'll come back and be like, yo, you told me this and I ended up going with it and shipped. That's what it's all about. So I love that point. Title. Hoop, anything to add on that? And then take us through some FanDuel stuff here before we get to the winners.
Yeah, some good points there. Just pulling up the FanDuel stuff. I think there must be some confusion on the part of FanDuel in regards to the Texans pass catchers. Maybe they were assuming like Nico Collins had a chance to sit or something, but Nico Collins is up there at 12-4. But after him, Jaden Higgins is 7,600, like 7,600 for Jaden Higgins. Where Christian Kirk is 7,200, Xavier Hutchinson is 54. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't think Nico Collins was ever questionable, was he? Like he was always set to play. They kind of price those guys up as if there's a chance that Nico may miss. I mean, those are tough clicks. I mean, Higgins at 76, Christian Kirk at 72. He's projected to score like 3 fantasy points. Hutchinson 54. Same thing. So I don't know. Those guys are tough to click on those names. That's definitely one thing that stands out. Woody Marks is a little cheaper than the top tier guys at 10-4. Running backs have a little bit of an advantage over there. And then really all the other cheap guys are kind of in there in terms of the Buffalo pass catchers. Got Palmer 48, Shavers 36. Gabe Davis, 5K. That's kind of aggressive. Elijah Moore, 2,800. Ty Johnson, 34. So, yeah, I guess less cheap options over on FanDuel with the increased prices for those Houston pass catchers.
Yeah, the other night, this is where I found the Pickens spot. Remember, he ended up being almost the same price on both sides. It was like, that's pretty interesting. And the one that stood out to me right away on this is it's a touchdown-dependent site. It's, yes, they fixed the pricing, but that's, and the format, but you still have to score touchdowns heavily on FanDuel and in Showdown in general, like Hoop's point earlier. But James Cook, 12,000 versus 11,400 on DraftKings. It's almost the exact same. He's way under. He's like Davis Mills. Nico Collins is more than James Cook over there. At MVP ownership, it could be 1/3 the ownership of Josh Allen in the same spot. So I definitely think that's pretty interesting over on FanDuel. Title. Did you see anything else there? Anything else that we just went through that you wanted to add on to?
Just to add on to Hoop's point of like not as much value, that will lead to more middling bills to an extent. Like Josh and James Cook will still be very heavily owned at MVP, but like skipping the Nico range, Mills, Marks, Shakir, like James Cook and Josh Allen, I think will be even more condensed and higher owned on FanDuel. And then the kickers and Ds might be a little higher owned too, to fill it out with a middling build after that instead of having to full punt.
Yeah, I could definitely see the point. Like Philly asked this about Houston D with Josh Captain.
For sure.
I think for sure a night for both sides of that is if you could have, Davis Mills with the Buffalo D as well, especially if they're up late and then later in the games. I think this is a slate where, like I said, it's more of that stuff mattering than again, the end result will be, it matters of whatever, who you have and correctly, but it's important just to build in a way that tells a story. So let's get to the winners here, guys. We've got what did you win again last week, Coop? Is it 9-2?
9-2, yeah. 9-2
He dusted him. He gave you credit in the Discord.
Yeah, it was a domination. It wasn't close. I mean, I think I was up 20-30 basically the entire time. So it's valiant effort, but the king remains on top. I mean, what was the over under 9.5 that we said at the beginning of the year?
9.5. That's gone.
Yeah.
It's up to 13.5 now. So we'll see.
The live over under is 13.5.
Yeah,
I believe it.
All
I mean,
right,
it's I don't want to victory lap it too much because it's like people in our community, and we're very thankful for all their support. But damn, I mean, your boys hot.
They still have a shot at 20K, even though they lose out on the 250.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't feel bad about kind of taking the victory lap, because they're still eligible to win the grand prize. So if they were they lost and they're out and they're not eligible to win, then I'd feel a little bad, kind of shitting on the competition. But the fact that they can still win the big boy prize, I got to take my shots along the way.
Yeah, that's what I love. And now it's got a 300 minimum that they're getting. So I mean, even if they were in on the 349, and we're still going to try and grow it. We got some very big weeks ahead. We're getting some momentum in the shareship, so we'll have that coming up in a second, but that's going to be for the 555 milli maker. Maybe all this momentum, maybe the Sharks money. I got to bring this up again before we go to the winner. Again, congrats to everyone in the pool that's involved, anyone that's in the community that's now has a chance to be a part of this. And then just a huge thank you to our MVP, Sharks 8819. Good luck with the Ship It donation. 5,124 of his cash dollars won 65 grand on Saturday and immediately gave up 5,124 to the community. So we'll have more to take care of our guy Sharks, but certainly appreciate you, Sharks. And I know everybody else does as well. So let's get to it, Hoop. This is, coming for that 9-2 record. The winner of Golden Ship It number 36. The winner is, let's get a pronunciation on this one, Hoop. Mark
Palazzolo. Palazzolo.
I wouldn't have said anything after your first. That was so smooth. I was so impressed.
It's like Palazzolo. It's not even correct.
Yeah, I said Palazzio. That's definitely not it after I said it, but it sounded good with confidence. I should have
Mark Palazzolo. Mark Palazzolo.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the man.
Palazzolo. Yeah, Palazzolo. Yeah. Two Italians battling again. I think that we had this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, how did that one end? Was that one of your beaters?
I cannot remember. Or wait, maybe that's the guy that won one of the tickets.
It was last week.
Yeah, that was the guy that won. No, that's the guy that won one of the giveaway things. The new members. But yeah, best of luck to Mark. I mean, a lot have come and a lot have failed. So do your best.
Yeah, let's go, Mark. All right, 36 of 50. Still 14 Golden Ship It tickets remain. We've already again, we pulled it as we always do on Tuesday morning. The emails are sent out. I know, speaking of Philly Phantom, I think he found one in his spam. Make sure you check your junk, your spam, your inbox. It comes from info@shipitnation.com. It says the words, imagine this, Ship It Games. It says Golden Shipper. It says week 12. It's all in there. So check your email, get into the contest to play for the 38 Golden Ship It. But number 37, the Golden Ship It. This is a big one because this winner is going to be playing in the 555 milli maker with a chance at 100K and to add 500K to the prize pool. The winner is, talk a lot about Double D, Double J, Jacob Johnson in the building. So let's get it done. We got Jacob Johnson and Mark Palazzolo in the building today. So we got 36 and 37. 38 will happen on Sunday. Remember, if you are not yet a member at Ship It Nation, you can try it out and use the code SHIP19. Get in for 5 days for $19 just to see what it's all about. You get Discord and everything that goes with it. But the best deal is the $199 remainder of the season. This gets you all access to everything else that we offer. It gets you the Ship It Games entry. It gets you Saber Sim. It gets you all of the content that we offer for the rest of the regular season, the entirety of the playoffs, and up to and including Super Bowl. And if college football is legal in your state, you also get that as well. Hoop, title, any final thoughts before we get out of here, boys?
Good luck.
All right.
Yeah.
Good luck to
Good luck
everybody.
to everyone.
Yeah. Thanks again to Sharks. We want to say, again, a special thank you to you. Appreciate everybody. Make sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. For title, for hoop, we're all on screen at the end. Imagine this.
Not for me.
It's gone again.